respected guests, invitees, and all gathered here today. Good noon to all of you. இளமை குன்றாமல் என்றும் இனிக்கும் தமிழ் மொழிக்கு வணக்கம் சொல்லி ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். I, Dr. Subbalakshmi, Assistant Professor and the Event Coordinator from School of Law, take this privilege to welcome you all on behalf of the organizing team of this one-day bilingual national seminar on influence of Tamil language and literature on law. Oli Parava. Let us now have our traditional lighting the lamp as a tribute to the spirit of knowledge. I humbly request all our respected guests to kindly light the Kuttu Vilakku.
A very pleasant good afternoon to all of the participants here. At the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you for having taken out the time and showing the interest in this very different knowledge sharing base that Dr. Subbalakshmi had proposed for, and it has been selected and granted by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, to bring the very resourceful, as Honorable PM was also heard stating during his Pariksha Pe Charcha lecture a few days ago, Tamil being one of the oldest languages, if I may be citing him correctly, and with the knowledge base of law here, and discussing this impact of Tamil literature on law. So I extend my heartfelt welcome to Honorable Mr. Justice G. Rajasurya, Professor Gurmeet Singh Ji, Professor Chandralekha, I'm so sorry, Professor Chandrika ma'am, Professor Victor Anand Kumar, and Dr. M. Karunanidhi, all of them who are gracing this inaugural session of this one-day bilingual national seminar on the impact of Tamil literature on law today on this 14th of February 2023. I also extend a formal welcome to Professors Kamaraj and Professor Chokalingam, who we heard sharing based on their extensively vast and rich experience being the professors of jurisprudence and criminal law and so many other laws, having been professors 2 generations altogether, and as one of my students cited, that they were not even born when they started with their careers. This enrichment is what we get from such gatherings, from understanding the relevance of evidentiary law, being myself an ardent fan of law of evidence, citing relatable database type of information today, although it was being expressed in Tamil language, but the relevance of the subject matter was such that even I could crack the code. And with Professor Kamaraj's beautiful connection between Portia's expression of what justice is supposed to mean, and how literature and law have not really been a part, and how through literature the society has been introduced to and has been reminded from time to time about the relevance of so many social concepts, law being the golden thread running common to all.
respected Honorable Mr. Justice G. Rajeshwariya, and our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh ji, Dean School of Law, Professor Victor Anand Kumar, Head of the Department of Law, the coordinators of this seminar, Dr. Ravi Kumar and Dr. Subbalakshmi, and also our senior faculty from the Department of Tamil, Dr. Karunanidhi. Ladies and gentlemen, a hearty welcome to one and all who have gathered here. And I would first like to congratulate the team that is working on this very important topic. And here I would say that the word law, we should not take it in a narrow sense, because law includes many things, not just the legislation. You have a philosophy of law, you have jurisprudence, and when you take this jurisprudence, it is a combination of two words, juris and prudence. And morning, our Professor Victor Comrade was talking about the absence or historiographical absence of any law or acts written down in Tamil literature, or for that matter, in any of the linguistic literature of India. Because we understand that not everything was codified. The very idea of codifying law is basically Western. But whereas in our society, we have practice law, and we have the concept of justice. We have the people who are delivering judgments, and we have Dharma Shastras. தமிழில் நீதி நூல்னு சொல்கிறோம். அந்த நீதி நூல் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தமிழில் நிறைய இருக்குது. உலகநாதர் இயற்றிய உலக நீதி, நம்ம எல்லாருமே அரிச்சுவடி படிக்கும்போது ஓதாமல் ஒரு நாளும் இருக்க வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு ஆரம்பிச்சிருப்போம். இந்த நீதி நூல்கள் எல்லாமே ஒரு எத்திக்கல் மாரல் சொசைட்டியோட ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிரஷன்ஸ் தான். அப்போ சட்டங்கிறது எழுதப்படாமல் இருக்கலாம், ஆனால் சட்டத்துக்கு தார்மீக சட்டம்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது, மாரல் லா. According to Mahatma Gandhi, the moral law of the individual is superior to the civil law of the state. We have heard about that. So the very word law has several connotations, and we have been hearing wonderful lectures, talks today morning, and I would say that this program started with a big bang. We often hear about storms brewing in the Bay of Bengal coming to Pondicherry, but today morning we had 2 storms from Chennai city. And the way they connected Tamil literary traditions with law was very, very excellent, and we all had feast for the years. And I really appreciate the team for having this bilingual seminar on the influence of Tamil literature and language on, say, jurisprudence. That would be wonderful. And I also wish to place on record my gratitude to the Government of India, Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, where as part of the NEP, they have visualized, or they have understood, perceived the importance of the multilingual culture of India. So not only any one language, but the culture, society, and also the significance of all the languages are part of this program. So today it may be a comparison of Tamil and other things, but it will continue. And once again, I congratulate the School of Law, especially Dr. Subbalakshmi and Dr. Ravi Kumar, for organizing this, and overall support we always have from our Honorable Vice Chancellor for any kind of such activity, any kind of intellectual exercise. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam. This event, as Madam said, is an outcome of a circular calling for proposals from Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, Ministry of Education, Government of India, a high-powered committee mainly to promote the Indian languages. And Tamil is not only a oldest classical language of the world, but it is also well known as language of gods. It was a belief. Interestingly, Tamil has got even the scientific evidence to prove its antiquity. And parallelly, there also existed no civilization without a justice system. And this can actually be understood by looking into the history. Law had its existence even during the Bronze Age, the Indus Valley Civilization, and the Vedic period. And with this backdrop, this seminar is actually a unique one, as it is, as I already mentioned, it is bilingual in nature. And this idea of keeping it bilingual in nature is only to provide a platform to the experts so that they can deliver their expertise in their preferred language and to preserve the actual essence of the knowledge systems. With that idea, this was a platform to provide the scholars, teachers, and the students to understand the uniqueness and the prosperous features of Tamil language and the legal principles connected to it with the examples of various texts related to the Indian knowledge system. So with this small brief and the scope about this seminar, we strongly believe that this event will be a perfect interdisciplinary event, bringing together the flares and flavors of Tamil as well as law.
Good morning, friends. Our very respected Senior Justice C. Rajeshwarai, former judge of Madras High Court. I don't know how many of you would know, but Madras High Court has a great reputation of contributing to the law in the real sense, in the best of ways. It goes without saying. And our other two legal luminaries, about whom I have already heard in fair bit of details about the kind of talks that they delivered, Professor Winston Konraj and Professor Dr. Chokalingam. They have given the two talks already, and I was telling our Dean, Dr. Victor, that I think that is the best way of utilization of time in the absence of somebody getting delayed, and that somebody was me, none other than that. I am delighted to be here when I see our Dean, Dr. Professor Chandrika, and Professor Victor Anand Kumar from the management, in the presence of Chief Justice, and Dr. Gurminder Kaur, Head of the Law Department, Dr. Karunanidhi, our Professor from Law Department, Tamil Department, and all other dignitaries sitting here, our colleagues from Tamil and Law Department, and our colleagues from other departments who are here. In the healthy presence of all our students from both the departments and from various other departments as well, because in my opinion, law is one department, one subject which I suppose everybody enjoys listening to, reading about, and talking about. And here in our country, whether somebody understands law or not, everybody will pose as if one understands the law to the maximum extent. So that's why you find a lot of irrelevant arguments in our country, in our society. At times, they result into nothing. I'll not divert your attention to something which has been said about law departments. There was a time when you will go to any university, you will say, well, this is the law department where most of the unlawful activities would be there. This is the law department where a person with the least percentage would take admission. This is a department, this is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you how the law departments has evolved in our country from a place of non-existing entity now to the most important entity. This is what should have been done 20 years back, but I'm saying, I remember very vividly, my father used to be in the civil services, and he would sometimes take me to the courts, and I would ask, I was a young kid I was in 5th class at that time, 4th and 5th. I used to tell them, who are these people who are always wearing black coats and they are running around here and there? In Delhi, we used to have only one court during those days. I'm talking about 65, 66. Tisazari court used to be there. And that building also was of only 2 floors. Subsequently, more floors were added. And there were something like a huge number of tents in and around where these advocates would sit on a small chair and a table. Then he explained that what is it and what do we decide about it. And then after that, I remember I used to tell my dad every now and then that, look, if you don't do this, I will move court. I will go to court. As if going to court is a child's play and anything can be settled there. This is the understanding that I started developing. Then we moved to the college, and in every district, every state, there are colleges which are very sought after, then there are colleges which are slightly less graded, and then relatively unknown. Out of all that, all those which I used to visit, I'm talking about not only one university, all universities across. Law department used to be the one. I'm talking about 70s, late 70s, early 70s. Law department used to be one where the persons with the least percentage would go into, because they thought it is a useless profession. It is something which will not take you anywhere during those days. Then gradually, I do not know how many of you have, this is a matter of research for the young minds, how they developed into the present status, how it has become such a sought after course. Nowhere in our country now, admission into law is done automatically. There is a competitive exam, you have to clear that, and up to a certain percentage the admission is given. And now onwards, anybody who does law, what kind of progress one makes, I think you will all understand once you get into this. A subject is very interesting, subject is enjoyable, subject is challenging if it is an evolving subject. There are two subjects about which people used to have very strange opinion. I will not say low opinion. One was law, as I have said. The other was political science. Political science, they will say, oh, there is nothing to be read about. They don't realize that every second day this subject changes. If you don't keep yourself informed by reading newspapers and listening to news channels and all, you will find that you are not in line with the subject which is required. Every second day it is changing. Same goes for law. People used to think, well, there are certain law books, you read about it, that's the end of it. Did we ever bother that there are umpteen number of things which required changes, and we never bothered about it? I remember till 10 years back, the fine for a traffic offense used to be some 20-30 rupees, and one would say, okay, don't waste my time, take this, and he will run away, he will go away. And same for hitting somebody, same for injuring somebody. We never bothered about it. Same for when a police catches somebody and one is put in the lockup for a day. Did you know that the amount which was sanctioned by the legal authorities was 5 rupees 38 paisa for full day, where an SHO is supposed to be giving you lunch also, dinner also, he should look after your health also, in case you don't keep very well. He has to buy medicines also. What amount? 5 rupees 38 paisa. And how will he manage? Obviously, you will understand how would he manage. There are shops around, there are areas around which he controls. So he will tell, okay, today you do this, you do that. And once what society will understand, oh, police is very corrupt. Without realizing that this SHO who is serving you doesn't get time to go back to his residence for 7 days, 6 days at a stretch. Anything goes wrong, we start blaming, oh, this fellow doesn't work. You don't realize he's on his toes for 18 hours in a day, 20 hours in a day, gets very little pittance with which he manages, and then when we get into the police station, we say, well, he doesn't keep his police station very well, without realizing that what he has at his disposal. Same goes for law. We have never bothered to look at the law. We have never bothered to think about what is needed. Today also, barring I'm saying, high courts, which has improved considerably, but still there is not enough place for people to listen. Suppose as law students you want to go and attend to some cases for academic purpose, probably you will not get a seat where you can sit down and take notes. You will be pushed into one corner which you will be barely able to hear anything, because there will be a battery of advocates chatting and discussing in one corner, and you will have all kinds of things coming to your mind. Suppose if I am called to the court for something pertaining to my university, well, I will be there and I will be probably standing with murderers, convicts, everywhere. There is no place. They will not say a vice chancellor has come. There should be a place where he can be comfortably be seated and he be made to wait. I'll be standing with them and my advocate will keep on going, sir, 10 more minutes, sir, 20 more minutes. And by the time, you are called, this is the date you have to go, and you be there at 10:30, whether somebody comes or not. No time, you may have to wait till 3:30, 5:30, whatever. That's the situation. Who's responsible? We people. Have you ever thought about it? This is what I am not talking about for the benefit or for the senior lots to be concerned about. I'm talking about the young minds. You are the ones who have to think about what is needed. Have you seen the way hospitals have changed over the years? What it was in 60, 70, 80 and now what they are? Go to Max Hospital, somewhere else, see how in a corporate style they are attending to the, including Jipmer if you go there. There's a sea change. Why can't this be done in our courts? Why can't be this done to law? Can I take 3 more minutes? When we were talking about law, I think my advocate friends are sitting here, till about as late as 92, there were no laws related to environment. People would just cut trees at will. Nobody would bother about it. It's subsequently we started thinking about what kind of a forest laws are required, environment laws are required, water laws are needed. All those things came into much later. But how did it come? It came because there is an active law profession. It came because there is an active law thinkers who are working on it. This is an area which requires research. And for that, I will urge all my young minds who are sitting here, bilingual, Tamilian as well as the non-Tamil speaking, for both of them, this is one which is needed. In our own old ancient philosophy, both philosophy as well as the religious thinking, we have started, we were respecting very many things which came into existence well past mid-90s. And we were having it since ancient times. We never paid any respect to that. And that's where we need to bring them together, that what we had in terms of our environmental laws, our other laws, and into the present law. The researchers have to think about it. I have given you only two about what is required. Why can't we have a place where people can sit? If I have to go as a witness, why can't I be comfortably sitting there reading newspaper? When we can have that in movie theaters, in clubs, elsewhere, why can't we have it in the courts? Do you think there is a dearth of place? There is a dearth of money? No. There is a dearth of planning. We never bother. We bother about secretariat. Chief Secretary's room to be this way, that way. Waiting room has to be like a football field. You may not find anybody waiting there for hours together. But in courts, 40 people waiting into a place which is meant for 4, we never think about it. This is what is required. And laws are needed to be modified. It's a lovely subject which needs constant thinking. Constant evolution is there and constant researching is needed all the time. And once that is done, probably our society shall be what we hope our society to be. We don't copy anybody, we will look at it from our own angle. Don't say in Sweden it is this. Sweden or Denmark or Norway, they are small countries, probably as small as 1/10 of Tamil Nadu. But if that is, they can do it. They are very uniform, homogeneous society. In our society, you travel across Tamil Nadu, every 50 kilometers the dialect changes, the food style changes, dressing code changes. It's a real land of diversity. Traditions will change, so we are different. So therefore, we need to look at it from our perspective. And if law is active, researchers are active, I think our place will be a wonderful place to be in. We talk about NEP 2020, skill development. These are the areas where a lot of skills which can be developed, which are needed, and law departments are the one who are going to be flag bearers of NEP going forward in the right direction. Thinking goes that yes, everything should be done in mother tongue, yes. Till now, however good you are, in fact, the best writers, if you look at the Constituent Assembly's composition, I don't have time to tell you. If I name one, then they'll say others you have not named. most of them have been from Tamil Nadu, and they are the ones who had authored this. So we need to keep that in our mind, that the essence is here. We need to develop, we need to study, we need to talk about, I don't know how many of you would have heard about Sir Ramaswamy Mudaliar's name. What a prolific writer he was. Many others. So we need to keep those, and I am glad that you have organized this seminar, which is very rightly entitled as the influence of Tamil language and literature on law. I would say, if you permit me to put it, in the presence of many legal luminaries, I am saying, the influence has not been to the extent we would have loved this to be there. Had that been there, our laws would have been one of those which everybody would have respected. But we have not done it. Therefore, this is the time when we need to bring in our traditional values which were there in Tamil language and literature pertaining to law. If you do that, you will find our place will be a much better place. And this is the place which I have said, many wonderful laws have germinated from this place. And then it has gone to many other high courts. This is one of the oldest high courts, isn't it? Madras High Court. So we need to ponder over it, we need to debate, we need to think. This is only a beginning. I'll say don't stop it here. It is the beginning of this wonderful seminar. One day is not enough. You organize more, invite more legal luminaries here for these seminars and develop this subject further. Our law department is in its infancy. We need to invite many legal experts here so that we start our LLB also, LLB in the right direction, then further specialization, so that this place, I'm saying Pondicherry University as such, should grow into the right direction, in a right manner, and it is obviously at the right place. Full of spirituality which is needed in law, morality which is needed in law, and that is there in this place, very spiritual, rejuvenating, I keep telling, very positive. So if we combine Tamil literature, traditions and law here, I think we are on a very right path, and our department would be embarking on a right journey which will illuminate the law department in the best of ways for entire country. So thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm delighted to welcome all the experts here who have spared their time out for this, and I wish the seminar a grand success. It is being done at the right time, at the right place, and I'm sure we will be into right direction. Thank you very much. God bless all.
Thank you so much, sir, for acknowledging the significance of this event and for those words of wisdom and encouragement. Now, hailing from Puducherry, he initially did his English literature and then pursued his law degrees. He was also a part-time lecturer in the Government Law College, Puducherry. He decided to serve the society and moved on and joined judiciary in 1980. I repeat, in 1980. I should confess that most of us were not even born at that time. And sir had joined judiciary in 1980. His judgments were strong. He was noticed not just by his peers, but also by his superiors. Soon he was made the sub-judge in Puducherry and Kadlur district, and then he was elevated to the High Court of Madras in 2006. Sir then retired in the year 2016. Post-retirement also, he had held different positions like Chairman, Police Complaints Authority of Puducherry, Chairman, Appellate Authority of Environmental Laws, Chairman, Election Committee. A highly respected person, a well-known person for his simplicity, his sincerity, and his strong command in law and language. I think he's the right person we are having today with us, and we are very happy to have you here, sir. And with utmost respect, I humbly request you, our chief guest, Honorable Justice Tiruji Rajasurya, to kindly deliver the inaugural address.
His Highness, the Vice Chancellor of this prestigious university, dignitaries on the dais, and legal luminaries, experts, ladies and gentlemen. instead of wasting my time on preliminaries, straight away I want to go to the subject proper. See, the topic is so interesting, and His Highness the Vice Chancellor struck the nail on the head of it by pointing out that if you say influence, no influence at all in our present lex lori or lex fori. Why? Because we fail to get ourselves influenced by Tamil literature or Tamil language, and for that matter even our Indian system. Foreign system we ushered in. So that is the point that he already highlighted. Now it is high time for us to think of that. See, when I took oath of office as High Court judge, I was influenced by Tirukural. I uttered out this one. Yadinin nongya nidal adinin adanin ilan. The thing is that both the lips will not touch together. It's a famous one. What it connotes, what it denotes, it says that a person who abjures from bad habits or profligacies, all discomfitures and difficulties will not come and clinch him. He can keep himself away. A judge should be like that. He should be in ivory tower regarding his conduct with the public. But with regard to his intellectuality is concerned, he should keep himself abreast of all the changes that are taking place. See, influence is different from inspiration. See, let us see. Roman law, you all know. Then British laws, French law, Portuguese law, all these things had its influence in our law that nobody can deny. Whether any local customary law, as our professor clearly pointed out, law doesn't mean that only codified or statutory law, even other laws, customary law and all. See, we are having customary law, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, all these acts we are having it. It is from Dharma Shastra. That is Manusmriti. Of course, it is not Tamil, but Indian-based Smritis, scriptures. Today also, you are enjoying your property, I am enjoying my property because of Yajnavalkya. Now in 2005, we have tinkered with the traditional Hindu law. Women are considered to be co-partners. It is something unknown. But anyway, now we are doing it. See, why I am quoting all these things, whether there is any influence, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor pointed out, no influence at all of the local this thing. We are Englishary in dress, in speech, in behavior, everything. So, there is a question of getting ourselves influenced. Now only it is at the embryonic stage. You are only, so I have sown the seed. This is one such a thing that should flourish. See, what about our Roman 12 tables? You all know Roman 12, that is 450 years before Christ. That means almost 2,500 years you take it. Then Code of Hammurabi, still earlier. If you see, make a comparative study, as I did to some extent, as a chief editor of Madras Law Journal now, I ferreted out so many points from Tirukural and made comparison with Latin maxims. See, what should have been is this: regula pro legis si deficit lex. This is the Latin maxim. What it means? When law is silent, maxims are the laws. In India, it should be like that. When law is silent, Tirukural should be the law. That you should take it. How to interpret is that regula means maxim. I want to replace the word regula in Latin with Tirukural. Tirukura pro legi, si deficit lex. So in India, when any law is deficient and the judge is posed with an issue, he should at once apply Tirukural and deal with that. For that alone, you are all now trying. That is real influence. Otherwise, no influence at all. Roman law, Portuguese law, French law, everything. Whether you can cite anything. Then I should not have the audacity to say Romans copied Tirukural, because it is 2500 this thing, but similarities can be there. So that I culled out. I shall tell you one thing. See, earlier we stated about so many things. Lex talionis, what is that? Law, scholars may be knowing. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, death for death. That is not the law now. In Code of Hammurabi, Lex talionis introduced. If a son beats his father, his hand should be cut off. When a person hits another man, his tooth goes away. Same way he should be punished. That is called a lex talionis. We don't follow it. But our king, Arur Solan, cracked his own son under the chariot wheel. We appreciate him, but that is based on lex talionis. Because in those days, see, we had these transport facilities, we transported merchandise, this, that and all. Mercantile law developed. At that time, they also copied. We emulated certain things. They also emulated certain things from us. So that was the time. One student, to some extent, I will tell an anecdote, asked Justice Anuswamy, he was DLS, one mischievous student asked, "Sir, had you been in the place of Manu Yudhishthira, what you would have done?" So, that is a very tricky question. So, yeah, then his lordship, in his own imitable way, stated that I would have either excused him or I would have killed him. That is different. But he never answered directly. Because in those days, that was appreciated. But now, if a car runs over a person and if you kill him or put him under the car and if you just hurt him, that is disproportionate. That should not be. Anyway, rarest of rare doctrine. Now, that is what in Tirukural 561 to 570, it is clearly pointed out that there should not be lex talionis. Valluvar says, what is the rarest of rare doctrine? Now Supreme Court propagates with regard to death sentence. That is started there. I suppose you all know that. Veru vanda seyyamai. This is not known to so many persons. In this, I want to dignify that adhigaram as a legal code. Normally, Tirukural cannot be dignified with the title of a legal code in stricto sensu. But still, because of its legal acumen got embedded there, this adhigaram can be rightly be called as a legal code by itself. Then also says for judges and all, someone say the Siddhi Kum Kol Bol, Amindurubal, Koda Mai, Sandor Kadi. That is what it is. That is for judges. So he stated there itself. He whose honors is at stake lies down his lot, the shorn of his single hair. Mainipin, that Kural you know, Mainipin, Vaya Kavariman Anar, Uirnipar Manam Varin. That also is for judges. So, for judges as well as for advocates and for all, Tirukural says a lot. And there at the time, what was contemplated was that corporeal punishment. Corporeal punishment we have done away with. So, we can't emulate that. So, I don't want to take much of your time because in the heart of heart you should not feel Nesfield Grammar's this thing. And needless Alexander ends a song which like Wunderstreck drags it slowly and along, just going on waxing eloquence on things. Then we talk about secular. Secular only recent origin. There it is stated how Shivavarman rather fought with Sundarar. At that time in a bamboo pole, they used to put the documents. Registration system was there. They compared the signature and thereafter they did so many things you all know. So from that we can understand that system also. But our Indian Evidence Act and our Indian Penal Code are all entirely based on Roman law and then British law. During Norman conquest also so many things happened in England, you know. In fact, Indian Penal Code section 378 and French Penal Code 378 are one and the same regarding theft. So, Lord Macaulay virtually copied that. We can't expect Lord Macaulay to follow Tirukural. or any other this thing, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor put it, no influence at all, local influence, because things have been bulldozed into India. Very easily we cannot do away with that. Now we have taken that right step, so I don't want to take much of your time. I thank you very much for having given this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. That was a very delightful delivery. And I believe all the students had taken note of what sir was mentioning about the literature pieces and the legal evidences traveling parallelly together, trying to influence each other. And as they said, had it been a positive influence, yes, we would have got better laws and betterment in our system. Thank you for your words of wisdom, sir. Now I call upon Professor Victor Anand Kumar to give the felicitation, please, sir.
Good afternoon, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and our chief guest today, Honorable Mr. Justice Thiruraj Surya, and my esteemed senior colleague, Professor Chandrika, and colleagues from the School of Law, School of Tamil, and dear student friends. This has been an inspirational morning so far. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to all the speakers. I wish my turn was skipped so I could keep listening. Well, the origin of this seminar is interesting. As one of the seminar coordinators mentioned, it was one email from the admin. You know, they say genius is to see what everybody is seeing and then think what nobody is thinking and do what nobody is doing. 450 colleagues received an email from the director. One of us chose to act on that email, and here we are at the seminar funded by the Ministry of Education. So my sincere appreciation to the two seminar coordinators for taking the lead and doing this for us. Well, I'm from the School of Management, and I was thinking that I'm going to be fish out of water, but then the speakers have helped me to realize my amphibian traits, so I'm thoroughly enjoying it. You know, in innovation management, we use a term called the Medici effect. The origin comes from Italy. The story is there was one family, the surname was Medici, and at the time of Renaissance, they were very keen on funding interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary initiatives. And as a result, Renaissance was a time when a lot of fusion happened. Language is foundational. Law is functional in a society. But if these two can fuse, this is a fusional seminar, and I believe innovations happen at intersections. Ideas come when we come together. Sadly, in schools and departments, we work in silos, and sometimes we are very proud of that. But I think we all must have the humility to come out of our silos and then interact with other schools, and I think this is where ideas and innovations will happen. So on behalf of the School of Law, I convey my greetings, and I'm thankful to the School of Tamil for the hand of partnership that you have extended. It's been a pleasure working with you and your team, ma'am, and my sincere gratitude to the Vice Chancellor for such an enabler that he is to all of us at the School of Law, and I'm sure at large to all the schools. So on this note, I offer my greetings and continue to enjoy the day. This is going to be truly special. Thank you very much.
I now request Dr. M. Karunanidhi, Associate Professor from School of Tamil, to kindly deliver the formal vote of thanks.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிமையான என்னுடைய மதிய வணக்கங்கள். Most honored Vice Chancellor, I thank you wholeheartedly for graving us by presidential this national seminar. Our Vice Chancellor is a personification of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, always being human more than a human being. நான் தமிழியர் புலத்தில் பணியில் சேர்ந்து பாஸ்ட் 20 இயர்ஸ் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி எங்கள் மூத்த பேராசிரியர்களோ அல்லது நாங்களோ இருந்தோம். அதை பற்றி யோசிக்கலை. ஆனால் அவங்க புலமுதன்மையர் ஆனதற்கு பிறகு ஆய்வாளர் யூசப்பை கூப்பிட்டாங்க. நீ என்ன பண்ணுற, டெய்லி ஒரு திருக்குறள், இன்றைக்கி திருக்குறளை பற்றி அவர் நீதியரசர் அவரும் திருக்குறளை பற்றி பேசுகிறாங்க. முன்னால் பேசிய காமராஜ், பேராசிரியர் சொக்கலிங்கம் ஐயா அவர்கள் எல்லோரும் திருக்குறளை பற்றி பேசுகிறாங்க. புலமுதன்மையர் செஞ்ச முதல் காரியம், அவங்க செஞ்ச உடனே தினம் ஒரு திருக்குறளை தமிழியர் புலத்தில் கரும்பலகையில் வந்த உடனேயே எழுதி போட வேண்டும். அதுதான் நாங்கள் அப்படி உள்ளே நுழையும் போது பாரதியாரை பார்ப்போம். பாரதியாரை பார்த்துட்டு உள்ளே போனால் திருவள்ளுவரை பார்ப்போம். பாரதியாரும் வள்ளுவரும் தமிழியர் புலத்திற்கு, ஏன்னா பேர் சுப்பிரமணிய பாரதியார் தமிழியர் புலம். அப்புறம் அவர் பாடின மாதிரி யாமறிந்த புலவரிலே வள்ளுவர், அது அந்த நம்முடைய புல முதன்மையர் சந்திரிகா அவர். ஏன்னா திருக்குறள் அறம், நான் மதியம் ஒரு பேப்பர் படிக்கிறேன், அறம். ஏன்னா உள்ள நுழையிற போது பேராசிரியர்களும் அறத்தோடு இருக்க வேண்டும், மாணவர்களும் அறத்தோடு இருக்க வேண்டும், கூடுமான அளவிற்கு அறத்தை கடைபிடிக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை சொல்லாமல் சொல்லிய எங்களுடைய புல முதன்மையர் அவர்கள் வாழ்த்துரை வழங்கியமைக்கு நன்றி. அதற்கு அடுத்து சட்டத்துறையினுடைய தலைவர் அவர்கள், அவங்களும் குர்மிந்தர், நம்முடைய வைஸ் சான்சலரும் குர்மிந்தர், ஏதோ அந்த குரு அப்படிங்கிறதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப, ஏன்னா தமிழில் மாதா பிதா குரு அப்படின்னாங்க. ஆனால் இன்றைக்கி மாதா பிதா குரு இருந்த இடத்துல கூகுள், மாதா பிதா கூகுளும் கற்றுக் கொடுக்குறவங்க தான். இப்படி போயிட்டுருக்கிற சூழலில் அந்த வரவேற்புரை நிகழ்த்திய குர்மிந்தர் கரூர் அம்மா அவர்களுக்கும் அந்த பேராசிரியர் அவர்களுக்கும் நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்வதில் மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி. காலையில் இந்த 2 பேராசிரியர்கள் அருமையானதொரு உரையை நிகழ்த்தினார்கள். ஒரு என்ன மகிழ்ச்சி அப்படின்னா, 2 பேராசிரியர்களும் தமிழ்நாடு எல்லையை தொட்டார்கள். ஒருவர் வடவேங்கடம் தென்குமரி அப்படின்னு சொன்னார், வடவேங்கடம் தென்குமரி அதை சொன்னார். இன்னொருத்தர் மனோன்மணியத்திலிருந்து மொழியை எடுத்து சொன்னார். மொழி எப்படி இருக்குது, கலிதெலுங்கு எல்லாம் அவங்க ஒத்துக்கிறாங்களா இல்லையோ, அதை கேட்கும்போது ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருந்துச்சு. ஏன்னா தமிழ் தெரியுங்களா, ஒரு கூட்டத்தில் போய் தமிழ் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் இப்படி 2 பேர் ஆம்பளை பையன் திரும்பி பார்ப்பான், இப்படி 2 பொண்ணுங்க திரும்பி பார்க்கும். ஏன் தெரியுங்களா, அந்த பசங்களுக்கு பேர் தமிழரசன் இருக்கும், தமிழ் செல்வின்னு இருக்கும், தமிழ் அழகன்னு இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி தமிழோடு பெயரும் தமிழோடு நாடும் கொண்டாடுகிற ஒரே மொழி தமிழ் மொழி தான். அது நாட்டையும் பெயரையும் தமிழ்நாடுன்னு சொல்லக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவர் பட்ட பாடு இங்கே எல்லாத்துக்கும் தெரியும். அதனால் இதெல்லாம் ரத்தத்தோடு கலந்தது தமிழ் அப்படிங்கிறது. தமிழில் அந்த அளவிற்கு அந்த 2 பேராசிரியர்களுக்கும் உண்மையிலேயே எங்களுடைய தமிழியர் புலத்தின் சார்பிலும் சட்டத்துறை சார்பிலும் அவங்க தமிழில் நிறைய செய்திகளை சொன்னாங்க. இன்னும் பார்க்கணுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க அந்த 2 பேராசிரியர்களுக்கும் நன்றி தெரிவிப்பதில் மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி. அதை போலவே நம்முடைய நீதியரசர் ஜஸ்டிஸ் ராஜசூர்யா அவர்கள் ஒரு திருக்குறளை பற்றி அழகாக வெறுவந்த செய்யாமை, திருக்குறளில் எவ்வளவோ இருக்கிறது, அதையெல்லாம் நமக்கு மாணவர்களுக்கும் சட்டத்துறையோடு சேர்ந்து நாம் பயணிப்பதற்கும் எவ்வளவோ செய்திகள் இருக்கின்றன. அது மதியம் பேசுகிற பொழுது தெரியும் எப்படி இருக்கிறது என்று. எனவே நம்முடைய நீதியரசர் அவர்களுக்கும் நம்முடைய ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்கள் சார்பிலும் இந்த 2 துறைகள் சார்பாகவும் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி தெரிவிப்பதில் மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி. அதற்கடுத்து இருக்கிற நம்முடைய விழாத்துறையினுடைய டீன் விக்டர் ஆனந்த் குமார் அவர் நாங்கள் பல முறை சந்தித்திருக்கிறோம். அவரை சந்திப்பதெல்லாம் ஒரு மகிழ்ச்சி. ஏனென்றால் எல்லோரும் சட்டத்தை பற்றி சொன்னாங்க, நாங்களும் சட்டத்தை உடல் ஊனமுற்றோர் சட்டம் எப்போங்க வருது, இப்போ தான் கொண்டு வராங்க. ஆனால் திருவள்ளுவர் அப்பவே சொல்லிட்டாரு, பொறியின்மை யாருக்கும் பழி அன்று. என்னைக்கே சொல்லிட்டார் அவர். பொறியின்மை அந்த உறுப்புகள் இருந்து இருக்கிறது சொல்கிறதில்ல. இந்த மாதிரி எல்லா சட்டங்களையும் நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்களா, திருமண சட்டமாக எல்லாம் இருக்கும். அதையெல்லாம் நாம் பின்னால் பேச இருக்கிறோம். அடுத்து எங்களுடைய மதிப்பிற்குரிய பேராசிரியர் பஞ்சாங்கம் ஐயா வந்திருக்கிறார்கள். அவர் எப்பொழுதும் திறனாய்வு கண்ணோட்டத்தில் பல கருத்துக்களை முன்வைக்க காத்திருக்கிறார்கள். அந்த வகையில் அவருக்கும் நன்றி சொல்லுவதோடு வரவேற்பையும் அவரை வரவேற்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. அதே போல் எம்புல பேராசிரியர்கள், சட்டத்துறை சார்ந்த பேராசிரியர்கள், உமிசார்க்கிலிருந்து அத்தனை பேராசிரியர்களும் துறைத் தலைவரும் வந்திருக்கிறார்கள். ஏனைய துறையிலிருந்து வந்த பேராசிரியர்கள், ஆய்வாளர்கள், மாணவர்கள் எல்லோருக்கும் மொத்தத்தில் எல்லோருக்கும் எல்லாவற்றிற்கும் நன்றி தெரிவிப்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் சார். சார் நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி ரத்தத்தோடு கலந்திருந்ததுனால தானோ என்னமோ எனக்கு தமிழ் ஆர்வத்தின் தாக்கத்தினால தான் இந்த ஒரு ஐடியா வந்தது சார். அது இன்னைக்கு நம்மளாலே ஒரு சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல் ஈவெண்ட்டாக கன்வெர்ட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சுது. ஸோ சார், ஐ வாஸ் ஜஸ்ட் சேயிங் தட் இட் இஸ் ஒன்லி பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தி தமிழ் ரீஜனல் influence which I had, the language influenced me, and that was the spark for this event, and we are here today. Thank you so very much for all of you for attending this program, and I also thank all the dignitaries on the dais for joining us for the inaugural session. Thank you and vanakkam once again.